I think we all can agree that 3 of the last 4 years, quarterback aside, the 49ers have had the best roster in the NFL. And if in any of those years they'd had just a top 10 quarterback in the league, they probably would have a Super Bowl trophy by now. But God love him, Jimmy Garoppolo was not, is not, never will be a top 10 quarterback. Wasn't good enough in the playoffs, couldn't stay healthy. And so now the Niners have Brock Purdy and Trey Lance. And, both of them could become top 10 quarterbacks at some point. They might both be top 10 quarterbacks right now, but they're mysteries. For all intents and purposes, they're still rookies. And they're both coming off serious injuries. Trey Lance, a dual threat quarterback with questionable speed, not exactly Justin Fields as a runner, coming off an ankle surgery. Brock Purdy with questionable arm strength, not exactly Josh Allen, coming off an elbow surgery. So it's no guarantee that they'll be as good when they come back as they were before. And we don't even know how good they were before. So the Niners are back in this situation where if they just had a top 10 quarterback, they'd be Super Bowl favorites. And so until they find that top 10 quarterback, they owe it to themselves to look around the league every offseason and see, is there a top 10 quarterback available that they could win a Super Bowl with now? And this year, the best quarterback available in the free agent market is Derek Carr. Now, is Derek Carr a top 10 quarterback? Probably not on the Raiders. But on the Niners, I think you could argue that he would be a top 10 quarterback and they could win the Super Bowl with him next season. First of all, something you got to know about Derek Carr. He's missed 2 regular season games in his career, 9 years, due to injury. Right there, he would give something the Niners haven't had since Kyle Shanahan's been a quarterback. They can't keep a quarterback healthy for more than 20 games. That's his streak right now, 20. Derek Carr can essentially keep himself on the field. That's a really good start. And he's been playing for the worst team in the league, the Raiders. He's had 7 different coaches, I believe, in his career. His career really mirrors Matthew Stafford in a lot of ways. Stafford was wasting away in Detroit for 12 years. Detroit's awful. Not as bad as the Raiders. Rams picked him up and won a Super Bowl immediately because he's a top 10 quarterback. You look at Derek Carr, he had similar problems over there. His team was terrible, but if you look at his numbers were better than Stafford's. Better completion percentage, better TD to INT ratio, better quarterback rating. And again, Derek Carr, he was on teams with terrible defenses. He's never in his career been on a team with a top 10 defense. I think that same thing held true with Matthew Stafford. Once you put him on a team with a couple playmakers and a defense, boom, Super Bowl, when he was healthy. I think the same thing could be true with the 49ers. Now, it's possible that the issue with the Niners and quarterback durability is not the quarterback. It's the Niners. It's Kyle Shanahan. In which case, Derek Carr will get injured too, and we'll know for certain it's Kyle Shanahan's fault because no one's gotten Derek Carr injured long term. But if it is a quarterback issue, Derek Carr could fix that. And he has a better arm than any quarterback Kyle Shanahan's coached since Matt Ryan. He's a better arm than Jimmy Garoppolo. He's a better quarterback than Jimmy Garoppolo. Better arm, better athlete, better player. So, I don't expect the Niners to sign Derek Carr. I think Kyle Shanahan is making it his life mission to prove you don't need a good quarterback to win a Super Bowl, or a top 10 quarterback, or a highly paid quarterback. But I don't know. Sean McVay got over that notion and just brought in a guy and made it work. You could argue that Derek Carr is as good as Matthew Stafford. And you could argue that on the 49ers, Derek Carr would win the Super Bowl next year. You could argue that that's the best available quarterback for the 49ers, given that their 2 young guys are coming off these surgeries. Be interesting to see what the Niners do. Will they ever seize their moment like Sean McVay did? We'll see.